Welcome to Murder with the Missus. I'm Darren.
And I'm Amy, and today we're telling you about Wade Wilson Part 2.
Don't forget to smash that like button and go and check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and Facebook. Like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to tell your friends. Do not forget to tell your friends.
Better tell them friends.
So this is Part 2 of Wade Wilson.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. We're back again. Back on the Wade train.
Yep.
Now, if you haven't listened to Part 1, you might want to. There's a little background on Wade and the crimes that he committed, leading all the way up to where we are today, which is after he's already got caught.
The Deadpool killer.
Yes.
What they put it on there. He just killed the name Deadpool.
Well, it's because his name is the
I know.
same name. It's just...
I mean, if you guys didn't fucking get that, come on.
Some people don't. They're like, why do they call him that? If you don't know, yeah, he's got the same name as the character.
If you live in a box...
Some people don't like comics and stuff.
Know this shit. Wade Wilson is also known as Deadpool in the movie Deadpool.
In the comic books.
Or the new movie Deadpool Wolverine. Wolverine Deadpool. Which one is it?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, we haven't seen that one.
We've seen all the other ones. But...
Either way.
Anyways, let's not whine. Let's jump back in.
Yeah, let's not whine there, Eleanor.
We're talking about the shit that has happened since he's been arrested now. Now, in 2020, another inmate let the Lee County officials know that something was amiss. Someone was planning on escaping. So the jail officials head down to Wade's place, and they saw that the metal frame around the window had been removed. There were several cracks in the security glass, and a metal stool that had been bolted to the floor had been removed. They believe that Wade had been the mastermind of this plan, but his cellie did not report it, so they both got charged for attempted escape and criminal mischief.
You know what? I was just thinking, I bet that person that made that comment about us whining.
You're still on that?
I bet they're the people that are like, it's El Dorado, not El Dorado.
Could be.
Yeah, anyway.
We've talked about that before.
You know, his only way out, though, for real, Wade's only way out was like Shawshank style.
He was trying.
Yeah.
But he wasn't smart about it, but he was trying.
Yeah.
Because jail windows aren't like regular windows that you have in your house. Like they're little windows at the top. Did everybody?
I did. I'm sorry.
Well, they'd rather hear that than you cop.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so the little windows at the top. So if you somehow do manage to get through that security glass, like then what's your next move? Like what's the plan? Which they're not that big. They're like that big. But he's a big dude.
Yeah.
He's going to climb up on that stool and hoist himself out of there?
No.
No, he did, apparently.
Oh, did he?
No, he thought he was going to.
Oh, he tried to.
He tried. No, he didn't even get the glass out.
Oh, okay.
That stuff is thick.
Funny if he got stuck.
That would have been great to walk in and just see his feet, just like dangling. But also there was another incident report showing that he had, this is bad. He had another cellmate for about a week and a half after this. Now, you take prescription meds to help you sleep. And you said that when you get woke up too soon after you take them, you feel like you're disoriented, almost like you're drunk, right? Yeah. Yep. Well, his cellmate at the time was on some drugs that caused him to sleep for 18 hours a day.
Wow.
And that's not hyperbole. That is legit 18 hours a day. And he woke up one day to what he suspected to be a penis in his mouth. Now, on these meds, he was at a major disadvantage. He was held down by his neck aggressively, which was still causing him pain, and that's all he could remember. So what they did in this instance was remove the inmate and then issue a no contact order. Okay.
Alrighty.
That's how they handled that. Done and done. And we now know that he had tattoos when he went to jail all the way up to his jaw. So a swastika on the side of his head, like it's literally the whole side of his head, lightning bolts on his neck, an 88 on the left side and a 14 on the right side, which some say these numbers are also gang related. I have no idea if they are. I thought maybe he was really into NASCAR because that 88 legit looks like Dale Earnhardt's car number. So that's what I thought it was. Huh?
Probably is.
Probably is. Now he's got bread for war up across his throat, like up by his jaw. And then what looks like a guard tower on the front of his throat that goes down.
Is it spelled B-R-E-A-D?
No. No. It's spelled right.
No regrets.
So Good job there, guy. Spelled that right.
No regrets.
No regrets.
Not even that tattoo.
Mm-mm. But by the time he came to court in 2024, he had his face tattooed. So this is what we see now. We see a swastika under his right eye, along with that one on his head. The left side of his face is done up to look, I guess, like a skeleton. He has a Joker-style smile across his mouth, looking like stitches, even though, ironically, he can't seem to shut the fuck up. He has out of sight and out of mind going down the front of each of his ears towards his jaw, which they also say is a prison reference, because when you put people in prison, they're out of sight, out of mind. He has "Why so serious? Ha ha ha" from the Joker over his left eyebrow and down the side of his eye. You guys have probably seen it all. You can't miss it. And there were rumors, though, that he was given these tattoos while he was unconscious. Really?
That would take a long time for, to tattoo your whole face.
The whole face.
Especially in prison. I mean, because if you get caught.
Right?
That's a lot of trouble.
Plus, where in the world are you getting tattoos for free?
Prison. Because, this guy's already said that everybody's after him.
Yeah, they'd do a lot worse than put stuff he likes on his face.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, who's giving him these tattoos if everybody's after him?
I would expect like a penis on his chin or around his cheek. You'd get stuff like that. I don't think they'd actually take the time to give you what you want and what you like on your face.
Yep.
But he did ask for makeup for court to cover his face tattoos and look more respectable in front of the jury. And then, even though he was allowed to get it, he didn't use it. We saw him show up to court.
Yeah, but see, why is he allowed makeup when women isn't?
Some women do get makeup, yeah.
Oh, because I remember there was some that...
Well, you can put prison makeup on, too.
Well, yeah, I knew that. I mean, they would have to do prison makeup.
Yeah. Well, you can ask for stuff and it gets granted. So he did ask for makeup and it got granted, but he didn't even use it. So I don't even know what he was doing with it. Yeah. But he showed up in court in all his glory, with all his face done up, with his bright blue suits, just thinking he was something else.
Yeah.
And he was also put on a suicide watch, but we know that he told Papa Steve in a recorded phone call that he gets his meds faster and gets fed better when he's on suicide watch. So he uses that to kind of abuse the system to get what he wants.
Oh.
So you'll hear him in all these calls talking about, I'm on the suicide watch side and blah, blah, blah. But now we know why. It's because he asked for it.
Yeah. And, obviously he doesn't know that they record these fucking calls.
Oh, apparently none of them did, because there's a bunch. And there was also an overdose incident. Old 2Dubs had too much.
2Dubs.
Oh, 2Dubs. So let's get into it. They were already, there was a smuggling ring already going on in the jail, because it's a jail. All jails have it. But Wade surviving the OD made him more, susceptible to them paying attention to him. So they're really focused on him now. There had apparently been an outside woman that would leave drugs in the receiving area, and a trustee would get them, pass them to another trustee, and they would be distributed to Wade and another man. This man is believed to be the boyfriend of the woman on the outside that was dropping them off. If we had time to talk about all the jail calls, we totally would, but this is literally like a 30-minute episode, so we don't have the time. But there is one in particular, Miss Bonnie. They are the one that she's the one that they really focused on when it came to this. Wade thought he was really smart and that he used another inmate's pen to call Bonnie when they made the special arrangements. The thought was that if they were monitoring Wade's calls, they wouldn't hear these because they're not under his pen, right? But the jail officials are not dumb. They have seen some shit, better shit than what you got going on. Plus, we heard the calls with Bonnie where Wade actually tells her that he got someone else's pen. So if she sees him call, it's him. If you see this call come through, don't worry, it's me. I'm just using somebody else's pen.
Dumbass.
Fucking idiot. On those calls, he tells her to put a few Suboxone strips aside for him. Tells her that she can get 5, but he wants 6 because he needs an even split. He even tells her how to package them properly.
What a fucking idiot.
I mean, he breaks it down.
Golly.
Yes, I told you, fucking idiot. On one call, you hear Wade and Bonnie going back and forth arguing because she put it in a slightly different place than he told her, and his people couldn't find it. But they couldn't find it because the cops had already got it. They're already watching them.
Yeah.
So one day, as they watch, a car circles around and then pulls up with Bonnie in the front seat. A guy gets out and the car drives off. The guy hops over the rail, runs to the spot, leaves the packages, gets his little walkie-talkie out, says like the eagle has landed or some shit, and the car comes back and picks him up. Well, the cops got the car and all the people. They find stuff on the people in the car, and a canine found the packages that they had dropped off. There was meth, fentanyl, Suboxone, lighters, 19 loose cigarettes. So I guess they smoked one on the way. But they got the packages and 5 people ended up getting charged. Bonnie is still awaiting trial and is still locked up. And that happened in like April of 2023. Now, Wade did plead no contest in exchange for them dropping the charges for his attempted escape. And he got a fine and concurrent 12-year sentences for those charges. And this brings us to June of 2024. Actually, that happened after this, but we're going to talk about his trial for the murders. On the first day of trial, he claimed a medical emergency. I'm still shocked. So the nurse came in and said that he was fine. He had a tummy ache, but he still had to go to school. He walked funny every day of trial to make the leg shackles rub the back of his ankles until they bled through his socks. But then he would refuse medical treatment. They told him to walk normal, and he said it was better for him to walk this way. He had no time to do a lot of damage, though, because trial was only for 3 days. Prosecution did their thing, called their witnesses, questioned everybody, got their stories, and then they rested. And then defense immediately rested too.
I mean, yeah, but who are they going to call?
Nobody.
He already confessed a couple of times.
Yeah, they already have him, on tape multiple times. Yeah, so they were like, well, we can't beat that, so we'll just try something else.
Goodness.
They just gave up. Now, they barely even cross-examined the people that the state called. But they knew his goose was cooked, so like you said, there was really nothing they could do. Wade was found guilty of all the things, and the jury recommended the death penalty. And so they did a special Spencer hearing where they try to steer the judge away from the death penalty, saying Wade had a lot of head trauma that affected his thinking and shit. At 11 years old, he told his parents he was going crazy. Then he was a passenger in a car that went off the highway and hit an oak tree where his head hit the windshield and spidered the windshield. He did go to the hospital, but he left AMA, which is against medical advice. Another time, he was a passenger in a vehicle that crashed and he was seen by EMTs at the scene, but he ran away from them because he was on probation at the time and was out of his restricted area. He got a concussion in baseball and another one in football. So Dr. Mark Mills testified that Wade suffered from a psychotic disorder and is chronically and severely mentally ill. Dr. Hyman Einstein, a neurologist, testified that Wade had been diagnosed with depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, schizoaffective disorder, and other mental illnesses, saying that he had a neurocognitive impairment and his brain didn't function like a normal, healthy person. We're aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always 2 sides to a coin, and that was a pun because Dr. Thomas Coyne, a medical examiner in Tallahassee, testified that Mr. Double Dubs has a structurally normal adult brain, that there's no major red flags that would point to severe brain trauma. And the judge was like, that's all I needed to hear. Death penalty. Done. I'm out. He had dinner. But in Florida, when you get the death penalty, you get a choice. So he has the choice of either lethal injection or the chair. But he's already said that he's going to take the needle because it's less painful.
I bet he did.
He did. He's like, I don't want to hurt. I just want to go to sleep. But I want to do awful, awful, horrible things to other people. And the appeals are already going, of course, because the death penalty cases have lengthy appeal processes. People will sit there for 10, 20 years. And now we can touch on the phone calls a little bit real quick. If you don't know, a lot of people have reached out to Wade since the murders, mostly women. They find him, send him a request on the little kiosk, and he can accept them and start calling, emailing, getting pictures from them, getting money from them, all the shit. He was a revolving door. No, he was a revolving door, but he has a revolving door of women. That's what I meant to say. And thanks to phone calls from prison, we've heard a lot of those phone calls. Now, if you want to hear them in full, head on over there to their YouTube channel. But make sure you like, subscribe, comment, show them some love, because much to these women's dismay, these phone calls are public information and are available to obtain through the Freedom of Information Act. We know that. But these things are not free. We talk about donating to your favorite podcast in part to help with research all the time. And it's for shit like this.
Yep.
I'm not sure exactly how much these actual phone calls cost, but in another high profile case with lots of phone calls, it was about $7,000 to get all the phone calls through a FOIA request.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, if you like to hear them, bro, somebody had to pay for them. So like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Show phone calls from prison some love.
I mean, that's the only way we're going to get to where we can do this kind of stuff, where we need to be at.
That's true. Now, he talked to people from all over the world. He had phone sex with them. He asked,
of course.
He asked all of them for money. Like he's almost like on repeat, telling the exact same stories over and over and over. He tells them all that he loves them. He proposes to several of them. And I'm talking men and women, because remember, he is bisexual. And now all of this has come out. All of Wade's wives, that's what they call them. You can hear the progression where it turns into basically a job for him. One of the most talked about was Mila. Remember, we talked about her earlier. She was one of his almost victims that day. She was a victim of assault, but she was almost a murder victim. She has a couple of calls with him a week or so after he was arrested. And this is why people got mad, because she calls him daddy. She tells him that they kept her Hellcat because they found the dead girl's shoes in her cars. In her car. She makes him promise that he didn't have sex with those women. They talk and they laugh about what he did to her that day. She says, "Thank God I had 3 brothers that beat me up my whole life. I can take a punch, motherfucker." And he apologizes and tells her, "You took that punch like a fucking champion." Bro.
He's fucking beat.
Bro. He answers all of her questions about what he did, and she promises she's going to stick by him.
So this is the part where she caught shit for it, right?
Yeah, this was the shit part.
Good Lord.
People felt some type of way about it for sure. But then Papa Steve calls him. She actually calls, so he's on the phone trying to tell her, baby, go down and put money on my books. Baby, you got to go down there by midnight. Are you walking down there? Baby, are you going down there? And she's like, I'm going to call your dad. And so she calls Papa Steve on 3-way, because we literally hear her tell Wade that she's waiting on some snow. She had just bought some snow, which is Coke. So they're all talking about all the things on there. But she calls Papa Steve, and then Papa Steve's like, "Call me back, Wade, call me back." And so Wade calls him back. And that's when Papa Steve tells him that while he's sitting there giving Mila all these details on the phone about the murders, she had a reporter sitting right next to her and had the phone on speaker. So she's outing him. So on the phone with him, she's like, "Yeah, baby, I love you. And she's got a reporter sitting right there like, oh, this is good shit. He even played.
So she's getting paid good money for this.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, she is.
Steve even played the news report for him so he could hear Mila saying he was a monster and all this stuff. And he didn't have any phone calls with Mila after that.
No.
Yeah. Cut her off.
Oh, my God.
He did, however, call the news. So he has a phone interview with a news reporter, and we hear it on here. He says he's innocent, that they did not consume illegal drugs that night, and that Mila's spa was actually a prostitution ring, and Mila was a madam. Yes. So the phone call did the 1-minute warning thing. You have 1 minute remaining.
Yeah.
So that does that, and he tells the reporter, "I'm going to have to call you right back." And she says, "Okay, I'll be waiting." He hangs up, and instead he calls who we now know is Kiosk Kristen. So he didn't even call the reporter back. He wanted to get his GoFundMe out there. He wanted to shit talk Mila and proclaim his innocence. And he was done. That's all he wanted. Now, Papa Steve was not a fan of this. Yes, he turned Wade in, and he caught shit for that too. but this is his son and he's trying to be there for him to help. You know, he's got to accept the consequences of his actions. So Steve's like, I'll help you do that as long as you're on the straight and narrow. You know what I mean? And what I believe to be the final call, because I don't think I heard any Steve calls after that, Steve's trying to tell him how stupid he sounds. There's a couple of confessions recorded already, and then now he's on with the news saying that he's innocent. So Steve's telling him all this does is show that you're changing your story. Because Steve, I mean, it said that he spent 12 years in prison himself. He knows the game. And plus he's, smarter than the average bear, but he was making very valid points. And Wade got super butthurt and they got into an argument. And so that was it for the phone calls with Papa Steve. But it was really, really great to hear Papa Steve yelling at him that he was a bitch.
He couldn't handle the truth.
He could not handle the truth. No, he was so mad. Ugh. Now, Steve also mentioned something that we've heard rumors of, so he confirmed it, that Wade does have a child. He said that Wade had not mentioned the kids once. That's one of the things he yelled at him through the phone, is that he's never mentioned his kids, ever. And he doesn't. You can listen to them all. He doesn't. He doesn't talk about them. And there was actually rumors that he had a son and a daughter. So we know now that the son is his, but a paternity test proved that the little girl is not his. But like I said, 2Dubs says the kiosk is his golden ticket. You hear him talk to his ex, Kelly. He tells Shannon he's afraid they're trying to kill him again by pumping gas through the vents in his cell. He tells a man named Joey. Yeah, he tells a man named Joey that he's been bi his whole life and he's going to marry him one day. And he has some really shitty phone sex with a German girl. And I say it that way because it's really disgusting. Really gross. Very gross. He got to the point where he had the wives managing his Fundly, which is like a GoFundMe type of thing. He had his social media being taken care of. They were calling his lawyers for him, calling the jail for him. He had a whole organization. And at one point, he reportedly had $100,000 in donations to help with his legal fees. But you hear him and his main wife, Obsessed Jess, or you might hear referred to as Jessie, or even Maria, because she is all of those women. She says that it's about to come out that he's being represented pro bono. So they're going to have to figure out how to navigate that, because now they've swindled all these people out of all this money and it's not going where they said it was going. So, scammed them all, right?
Scammed them.
So now all the donors know that they were being scammed because these have all come out. Again, phone calls from prison. Good job. Some of these women even put their kids on the phone with Wade.
That is so fucking stupid.
Now and I'm talking teenage girls.
That's so fucking stupid.
They sent Wade pictures of their teenage daughters.
And they need to be fucking locked up.
Bro. They have since come out because, these phone calls mostly happened several years ago, 4 to 5 years ago. But these women are now coming out saying, I'm in a different frame of mind than I was. I'm a changed person. I'm not that person anymore. But, bro, if you're giving a murderer pictures of your teenage daughter,
that's fucking disgusting. That's a sick person.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. Yes. Now, we haven't heard those calls because phone calls with prison, of course, are protecting the minors. So exactly. They're not releasing those.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. They shouldn't.
No. I hope nobody ever releases them.
Every fucking pedophile out there will fucking get their rocks off on that.
They're completely backed up right now because there's been so many requests for these phone calls that they're actually like 4 or 5 people deep waiting to get copies of these phone calls. So I hope none of these people put them out there. Please don't. Please don't. He talked about Eric from The Deadliest Catch a lot too in the beginning. The guy, he has an anchor tattoo under his eye. And Wade told a whole storyline that he was a hitman and that Eric had paid him $80,000 to murder someone. That's a whole nother story. But an ultra rich lawyer named Ari, she was one of my favorites to listen to, and you'll see why, decided to take an interest in Wade's case. Now, number one wife, Jessie, vetted her and got her in contact with Wade. So she had become a lawyer, started a clothing line, sold the clothing line for billions of dollars, and now just donates money basically for legal fees of innocent people. She also had Barry on there with her, who would be helping with his case, He wasn't on the calls, but he was going to be on the team. And he was part of OJ's dream team, and he started the Innocence Project. She donated $650,000 for his defense. And it didn't take long before Wade and Ari were flirting. Wade tells her he doesn't love Jesse and he wants to be with her. Just her.
You know, and that doesn't sound right, but you know, the Innocence Project, you know, it's a great deal. If they're actually trying to,
if they're innocent,
trying to protect the innocent.
Yes. I think it's very necessary.
But there's a point where you're just wasting your fucking resources.
Well, let me tell you, I know you might be thinking that maybe this is too good to be true.
Yeah, I hope so.
And you're probably like, Ari's probably not even a real person. But she is. She's a real person. She's not this person.
Okay.
This was a woman who has apparently been impersonating the real Ari for many, many, many years. So he got a little taste of his own medicine and he got scammed himself. All he lost was hope, and he should have lost that a long time ago. But anyways, at least he got his little hopes up. They were so excited. Him and Jesse, they were just like, yes. I'm so excited. I'm going to see you. I'm going to marry you. And then no, it's not going to happen. But we do hear him talk a lot of shit on his own donors, the actual ones who donated money. One woman donated $21,000 at one time. And what does he say in the phone call with Jesse? Is she just that fucking ugly? Why is she so fucking ugly? What does she do for money? She's so fucking ugly. Maybe she has an OnlyFans. What for? Look at me and die? She's disgusting.
Maybe she's got great fucking feet.
Who said OnlyFans is all about boobs?
I'm just saying. I mean,
maybe she got nice feet.
Maybe she's got nice fucking hands. Who fucking knows?
Who knows? But
good Lord,
this woman literally gave him $21,000, and he's like, "You're ugly."
Obviously, if she's fucking rich like that, she's doing something right.
If you've got 21 grand to just throw away, basically flush down the toilet, come on now.
Golly.
So instead of donating, let's keep our hard-earned money, people, shall we? And like I said, the calls have been, they've been coming out for a couple of months now, and it seems like there's new ones to listen to every day. So there's going to be more come out. I'm just letting you know, I'm not going to be able to cover them all. In September, Wade and Jesse filed a civil suit against Lee County Sheriff's Office and the state attorney's office. There was a claim of declaratory, that's not a word.
Okay.
Declaratory relief and temporary and permanent injunction relief. The complaint says that since the calls started being released on YouTube, Jesse has been doxxed and received threats on social media. One online post said that she had a death wish, and that implied that someone's going to harm her. Now,
no.
I'm just going to throw this out there that maybe they're saying that she has a death wish because she's obsessed with a man who confessed to killing 2 women.
Exactly.
And he said he would have killed Mila too if there hadn't been so many people around. So, yeah, maybe that's your death wish, lady. Maybe they're not threatening you. Maybe they're trying to let you know that you must have a death wish if you're wanting to marry this guy. And have kids. They want to have 5 kids. Now, the clapback to that was filed on October 15th of 2024 with a notice of invocation of the Son of Sam's Law. That's the one that says that a killer and his fiancée cannot profit off the crimes. You dummies. So that should be an interesting lawsuit. But that's where we are. A lot of phone calls still being released. So if you go down that rabbit hole, like I said, you're going to hear the same thing on repeat. He tells everybody the same shit, that he only gets to shower once a week, that they don't feed him, and that he needs money for, he needs money for honey buns and shit. It's just so dumb. But yeah, so that's where we are. But you will have to listen to his annoying ass laugh too. That thing is the fakest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll update this, sometime in the future.
Oh yeah, because I'm sure they're going to keep doing shit. This is one of those that they just keep doing shit, kind of like Sarah Boone.
Oh yeah.
They just keep doing shit.
Sarah Boone, and what's the other one? You said that Alex
Murdaugh's got stuff
I guess
going on.
he's got shit still going on that shouldn't be.
Yeah, he's always doing something. And plus, I guess Netflix is making a documentary on Wade too, so that's going to be coming out. Yep. They're already interviewing people and carrying on. And as this comes out, we'll learn more. So, another thing we learned the other day was what he's spending his money on in jail.
What?
Lots of hair ties and Vaseline.
Hair ties and Vaseline.
And female deodorant.
Now, you know what? Secret's got it going on.
That's what they say. I actually hear a lot of people who's been in jail been like, that woman's stuff is strong.
That shit would last forever. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
They need to make like a secrets for men.
Why don't they?
I don't know.
I think they get like degree in there or something. What's that going to do?
That's shit.
There. See, that's why they go for the female. So it's like not that big of a deal. But there was also something that I saw. I didn't verify it or anything. So this could be a rumor and speculation or whatever. But there was something that came out that said he had a couple of pair of women's underwear in his pants. Not on, like in his butt.
In his butt. Yeah.
I did try to find his Funly, but it's been pulled down, of course. I did find one for his baby mama, though. So his actual mother of his son had a Funly going for money for the baby. And if it's actually her, she says she needs assistance for her little one, and that Wade was being scammed by Ari, and that Jesse was using the funds for his legal defense for her new house. So I guess even Jesse's doing a little scam. And the goal on there was $100,000, but there weren't any donations. There were a couple of GoFundMes, even one from his ex, Kelly. So remember Kelly, she was the one that was like, if you would have done something in 2019, we wouldn't be here now.
Yeah.
She actually had one set up, a GoFundMe set up for attorney fees to help sue the police department for not doing their job. But I didn't see anything donated to that one either. And I think she kind of dropped that lawsuit. But yeah, there we go. So we'll do updates if anything wild happens in court. But for now, 2 Dubs is on his own. Since he's on death row, he's isolated, which is probably best because there's also a lot of rumors that people really want to hurt him in there. They really want him in Gen Pop, and he's really trying to stay out of there.
And he probably will get put in there.
I'm sure. If you think that going into isolation or being isolated like that on death row is a 100% security.
Oh, eventually
great
he's
thing?
going to.
No.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. Eventually it's worse.
Well, the guards, you think the guards are on the up and up all the time everywhere you go?
Hell no.
Look at, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to go down that road. But there's lots of people who die in jail that have nothing to do with the other inmates. So if you think you're protected, think again.
Think again.
Think again.
But anyway, that's it for this one. Hopefully you guys catch us on the next one.
Let us know if you like the videos.
Let us know if you guys like the videos. We're going to do videos and audios. So it's a new year, new thing. So like, share, subscribe. Check us out next time.
Bye.